confirm that you can hear me loud and clear. If you can hear me loud and clear, please put any comments in the comment section so that I'll be sure that there are people that can hear me loudly. Okay, thank you so much, Lola. Okay, we're going to have a very fantastic discussion today. I'm going to bring up my screen so we can start immediately. Okay, if you're just joining us and you know anyone that's going to benefit from this amazing session, just feel free to send the link to this conversation to them so that they can also be able to join us. Your friends, your family members, anyone that you know that is going to benefit from what we are going to be discussing today, please feel free to share the link with them. So I'm going to bring up my screen right now and we're going to jump straight into the conversation that we have for today. And it's revolving around top jobs in the UK, US, Canada with real security, no relevant experience required for you to be able to break into any of these roles. Okay, but before we start up our conversation, I would love to know you and also get to know where you are joining us from today. All right, so just feel free to put your name and the location of where you're joining us from so that I'll be able to know how to navigate the different geographical locations that we have here. Okay, so your name and the location of where you are joining us from. I can't see anyone's comments yet. Just put in your name and where you're joining us from so that I can be able to know. Okay, I can see Esther. Esther from Nigeria. Fantastic. It's good to have you here. I can see Walter from Canada. I can see Shola from London. I can see Isaac from Canada. Keys from Trinidad. Fantastic. I can see Rebecca from UK. Nena from Hull. Donald, no country. Scholastica from Kenya. Rookie from Texas. Tenny from US. Tayo from UK. Fantastic. I can see all of you. So Lucky from Poland. So happy from UK. Happy from Poland. From Kenya. From Nigeria. From Canada. From US. And of course, which other country? Sisu from Malawi. Fantastic. This is to show you the validity of tech skills. This is to also show you how vast that gatherings like this can also get to. We have close to 10 countries gathered here today to listen to the top jobs in UK, US, and Canada. And one beautiful thing about all these things is that once you're able to understand how it works, you can easily be able to also apply it to Trinidad, can apply it in Poland, can also apply it in Malawi. So it doesn't have to be just UK, US, or Canada. You can still be able to apply it to all those other countries that you are coming from. Right, before we also start up, I would love to also know if today is the first time that you are joining any of our sessions. So if today is your first time of being here, feel free to put a 1 in the comment section. But if you've been here before, just put any number as your own lead see. Okay, I can see 1 from Don. So that means today's first time that Don is joining us. I can see 1 from Holuwani. Okay, I can see 3 from Amega, which means Amega has been here before. And a lot of 1. Fantastic. It's good to have you all on the call today. So if today is your first time and you're putting in a 1, please make sure that you fill the attendance form that my colleagues will be dropping in the comment section. So that if you have any reason why you drop off from this conversation, you will have access to recorded version of this discussion and also the slide that we're using for this conversation. Okay, make sure you fill the attendance form so that you will have access to every single thing that we are going to be talking about. So let's jump right into it so that within the next 1 hour, 2 hours, we should be done and be out of here. Okay, like I said, first of all, we're going to be talking about top jobs in UK, US, and Canada with real security, no relevant experience required. Okay, but before we start up, I would love to make you understand the people that are organizing this event. And we are Tenalytics. We're the leading educational technology company that is helping people to break into the tech career path. No matter where you're coming from, are you from a nursing background? Are you coming from pharmacy, coming from civil engineering, from customer service? We're going to help you find a career path that is suitable for you and that help you to break into that exact industry. And how exactly we do this is by using real life case studies to teach you and not just theoretical aspects. So you learn from the experience of others and also be able to apply it to the job that you are going for. We've been doing this for close to 5 years now, and we've helped close to 3,000 people transition into their own desired tech career path across UK, US, Canada, Europe, and of course, Africa and Asia. And we have 8 major courses that we offer. That includes data analytics, business analysis, data engineering, data science, financial analytics, HR analytics, agile project management, and of course, cyber security, and then soon to come, AI engineering. Of course, our facilitators come from amazing top leading institutes out there. And how they do this is by bringing their experience in their own industries, Amazon, PwC, Deloitte, as the case may be, and then teach you using those experience so they can also be able to learn from their own experiences. You know, when you apply to jobs, they're going to see, oh, we're looking for a data analyst with 5 years of experience. We're looking for a cybersecurity person with 3 years of experience. So how do you get experience without getting a job? Okay, that's the gap that we're here to bridge, to make sure that you learn using real life case studies and be able to land all those jobs that you are looking for. And my name is Chukwuemeka Iba. I'm the CEO of Analytics. And for the last couple of years, I've worked as a dynamic technology consultant and, of course, also as a GRC professional. That's governance, risk, and compliance. Here at Analytics, I've helped close to 1,500 people to personally transition into the tech environment. My experience spans across GRC, like I've said, in the banking sector, head of control also in the fintech industry, data analyst also in the fintech industry, and also a business growth consultant in the hospitality space. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn at Chukwuemeka Iba or Twitter at Emeka_Heist or Instagram at Iba_Chooks. And we're going to continue this discussion as you deem it fit. So we're going to jump straight into what we are here to do today. But first, I'm going to give you one assurance, okay? So one basic thing that I expect everyone to have by the end of this session is that you will clearly understand the most in-demand career paths with real security, as well as the steps that you have to take to position yourself to land them with no experience. Okay, so 3 things are involved here. You understand the most in-demand career path, and also see the ones with real security, okay? And also learn the different steps that you have to take to position yourself, and then how can you get in without any experience, okay? So 4 things actually, in-demand career paths, the ones with real security, the steps to take, and of course, how you can get in with no experience. That's my own assurance to you. So if you're going to drop off at any point in time, make sure that you fill the attendance form so that you have access to the slides and also have access to recorded version of this discussion so they can also be able to play it back and hear what you've said when you dropped off. First thing I want all of us to understand is that it is possible. All right, so at the beginning of this year, a couple of us who maybe said, oh, this year I'm going to break into the tech industry. All right, maybe you said, oh, by Q2, I'm going to break into the tech sector. January has passed, February, March, April, May, June, and we're about to enter the other half of the year. Are you still ready to make that step? Okay, are you still ready to make that move? If you can see the animation on my screen, we are roughly at 50% completion of the year. Okay, January is over, February is over, March, April, May, June, they are almost over. But does it mean that you can't still be able to get into the tech sector? Of course, you can still be able to get into the sector, but it starts with the step that you decide to take today. Okay, so make sure they have your biro and paper so that I can walk you through what you need to know. All right? Most people always ask themselves, is it actually possible for me to be able to get into these sectors from a nursing background? Is it possible for me to be able to break into this exact career path from being a teacher, or even from just being a full-time stay-at-home mom? But today, make sure that you're listening carefully. So I've gone through the actual work of trying to get different people that have been able to break into the tech industry from different career paths, okay? So that you can also be able to understand that this is actually possible, all right? Evelyn was able to transition from being a nurse for 15 years to becoming a data engineer. Right? She transitioned from being a nurse. If you listen to what she had to say, she said that at a point she got tired of doing something over and over again, first being a nurse, and she needed something fresh that she's going to do. And because of that, she wanted to break into the tech career path after 15 years. And she can now comfortably be able to answer a data engineer. So if she was able to move from being a nurse to becoming a data engineer, why do you think you can also be able to make that same switch? Right? We have a lot of people that have been able to make this exact switch. Okay. We also have another individual that transitioned from being a medical doctor to becoming a data analyst. Okay. So once you get the slide, feel free to click on all those links to hear what they had to say. Okay. So one person transitioned from being a nurse, this other individual is transitioning from being a medical doctor, and of course, Tony also transitioned from being a pharmacist. So this is to clearly show you that even if you are coming from the pure science background, it is possible for you to also make this same switch. All right. So even if you're coming from the science background, it is possible for you to make this switch. Most people always ask themselves, okay, I'm working in the care sector, I'm a support worker. Can I actually do this? This is to clearly show you that there are a lot of people from the same science background, from the same hospital sector, that have been able to transition into getting into the sector. Okay, Cynthia is saying, I don't have a science background. Fantastic, Cynthia. I love that. Okay, you do not have a science background. Trust me, it is not a problem. All right, so I'm just starting and I'm going to show you that it is not a problem, even if you do not have a science background. Right? If you look at my next slide, you're going to see that someone else was also able to transition from non-science background. Okay, Cynthia, I hope you are there. So if you can see my screen clearly, Femi Voran was also able to transition from being a lawyer into becoming a business analyst. All right, and that's not just him. We also have Osa Obo that transitioned from being a salesperson to also becoming a business analyst. All right. So she also mentioned that she got tired of the target of every single day. You have to go out and do this and do that. And she wanted to break into the tech sector. All right. She saw us and was able to get the skills that she needed and was able to also transition. The same process was what Ngozi also utilized. So Ngozi transitioned from being a customer service rep to also becoming a business analyst. Right. So you can clearly see, Cynthia, that it's not just about having a science background. The first three set of people that we saw, they had science backgrounds, okay? One is a nurse, one is a medical doctor, one a pharmacist, and they were able to break into the tech sector. And the other set of people that we are seeing now, they are people without any science background. Temi, he used to be a lawyer, Osaobo used to be a salesperson, and of course, Ngozi also used to be a customer service rep, and they were all able to transition to the tech sector. So we have the science background and we have the non-science guys. And this is to clearly show you that you all have a stake in the tech sector. All right. I know that some people are going to be asking, okay, but me, or maybe I do not even belong anywhere. I'm not in science. I don't have any experience at all. What exactly, how can I actually be able to get into this space? We also have someone that was able to make this switch. We have Ikmat. So Ikmat, she identified as, oh, I used to be a full-time stay-at-home mom. Okay, after she gave birth, so on and so forth. She wanted to, get back into the workforce. So she was coming from a no experience into breaking into the sector at all. So first of all, I want all of us to hear what Ikmat had to say from her own experience before we jump right into our discussion today. Right, let's hear what
Hi
Ikmat had to
everyone, my name is Ikmat, and I was with the March cohort in 10 Analytics, and joining 10 Analytics has been the best decision so far. For me, someone coming from a background of full housewife, because I had to stay back home to look after my child for 4 years, and then wanting to break into something new, wanting to go back into the workforce, wanting to place myself in the society for better job opportunities. So it was a lot. And then I'm glad that Analytics came along, and then they presented me with so many opportunities right in front of me, better opportunities. And then I'm glad I took it. And then also the advice of do not sell yourself short, that Effie is always saying, it is very, very valid, because place yourself right, don't sell yourself short. It's a very, very, very valid advice. In Analytics, they will hold your hands like a child, through the modules. You have the opportunity to go back and study. You have the opportunity to go back and practice. You have the opportunity to ask questions. You have people you can always go back to even outside of class hours. It's the most amazing experience so far, really. And then another thing is the interview prep, guys. That is another very important thing. I did my interview prep with Mr. Mohammed, and it is the best decision ever because it was like he saw into the future. He knew what was going to be asked, and I'm glad that I wrote down all the things he mentioned. I went back to practice, and then when it was time for the interview, it was like everything he was mentioning, everything he mentioned, it was just they kept on. And then when I was answering those questions, I was so confident, because I already practiced. I did an Excel test, I did a math test, and then they were really impressed. And another thing is, guys, it may not come as fast as you expect. Definitely, you are going to get some no's, and then you may begin to think you're not good enough. You are good enough, yes. The no's will come, but always take it as a basis for learning and development, because after every interview where I got a no, I always make sure I get a personal feedback. So I work on those feedbacks for my next interviews. And yes, it worked. It really worked for me because I got my first job 3 months into the program, my first job. But I couldn't take up the job because I was a student and I was only eligible to work 20 hours. So I couldn't take up the job. 3 months later, I got 2 jobs with full visa sponsorship. And guys, all the other no's before the 2 jobs prepared me for the yeses I got. So yes, the no's will come, but do not give up because you always have analytics to go back to. They are the best and the best thing that's ever happened to me. And then yes, and they are the most affordable. The most affordable one I've come across so far. And that's the very
All right. I hope we all heard what Ikmat had to say. So, like I was saying earlier, we started
best
from showing
analytics
off
for doing.
different people that were breaking into the tech career path. All right. We have the first set that moved from being they were in the tech sector, and we have different people that were in the arts sector, and of course we have the other group of people that had no background. So first people that we had here, they were from the science background, and of course we have the other guys from the, let's say, arts. Oh, I've made a mistake. Let's say from the arts background. Let me delete this. I hope we are still here. So if you're thinking you are not made for this, I'm here to walk you through that it is actually possible for you to be able to get into this industry, no matter where you're coming from. So the first guys were from the science background. The other guys were from the arts background. And the other guys, they didn't even have none at all. So no background at all. So let me quickly ask everyone on this call, is there any career path or background that you're coming from that is not amongst these 3 that I've already listed here? Okay. I don't know what you studied. I don't know what you are currently doing. I don't know what you are not doing. But is there anything that you are doing right now that you think do not have a pathway towards the tech career path? Just feel free to drop it in the comment section. And I'm going to pick it up and also try to walk you through how you yourself can also be able to get into that space. All right. So if you joined us earlier, if you're just joining us, we showed a scenario where we have 3 different sets of people. One set from the science background, the other set from the arts background, and one set from nothing at all. But they were all able to get into the tech space. So this is to show you that it is actually possible for you to break into this sector, no matter where you are coming from. But one thing I always mention to people is that it's important. Muindisha, I said rigging. I don't know what that means. If you're talking about oil and gas that I'm thinking, that's the rig aspect. That means you're classified under the science background. Okay, human resource is classified under arts, done. Human resource is classified under arts, social sciences. Okay, so I'm waiting to see anybody that will drop any career path or what they've been doing that is not within these 2 actually, science, arts, or nothing at all. So even if yours is not here, you can also economics. Economics is also a social science. It can also be classified as arts course. Kelvin, I hope you are there. Electrical, oh my God, everybody's now dropping different career paths. And we all know that either what you are doing, as an animal science, which career path will be easiest for me to transition into? Fantastic. I'm going to get into those career paths, all right? And before this session is over, we're all going to check and see the exact career path that is also meant for us, all right? Whether you're coming from accounting, from retail, from geology, from any career path, we are going to walk you through and also be able to practicalize it right here in this session to see the career path that is meant for you. But first thing I want us to understand is that if you want to be like those guys that transition from the science or from the arts or even from no background, there are 3 different steps that you can easily take. Okay, one of them is you have to learn. And of course, you have to also package yourself. And then you have to be able to apply to jobs. Okay, so 3 basic steps. 1 is you need to learn. 2 is you need to be able to package yourself. And then, of course, number 3 is that you need to be able to apply to jobs. Then definitely it's going to bring you to the other stage, which is you've landed the job. All right, so if you're looking to land a job, first thing you need to do is you need to learn. All right, this is the same process that most of our past students, people that you saw that have secured jobs, these are the same processes that they were also able to take. All right, so let's take a look from what Judith had to say. I know someone mentioned that she's from HR background. So Judith used to be a HR back in Nigeria, and she worked as a carer when she was in the UK also. She joined our own program in 2024 March, and she learned business analysis. She was also able to package herself. Her CV was tailored to business analysis. She joined all mentorship sessions, and she got prepped for multiple interviews. And of course, she applied to jobs. Okay, she applied to jobs, both from the ones from our analytics job board and the ones that she also saw out there. And of course, she was able to land a role in July 2024 as a business analyst. Okay, so this is to show you that it is simple. First thing you have to do is to learn the skill. All right, the challenge that most of us have these days is we have not yet learned the skill and we're already packaging ourselves. If you go to LinkedIn today, you're going to see a lot of people that have branded themselves that they are a data analyst. Oh, I made this, I made that. But can you actually be able to use SQL? Can you use Power BI? Maybe someone just taught you how to use Excel and then instantly rebranded, oh, I'm now a data analyst. Is this sufficient for you? All right, so first thing you have to do is to learn, then package yourself, and of course, apply to jobs. So let's talk about this learning first. One major mistake that people make most time is not even knowing what to learn. All right, some people want to learn, but they don't even know what to learn. I have a friend, she wants to become a robotics engineer, and she wants it to be done within a space of 6 months to 1 year. That's the career path that she wants to get into. Robotics engineering is a fantastic career path. Okay, but is it going to get you those tech jobs that you're looking for as fast as possible? The answer is no, because you can't even become a robotics engineer within a space of less than 18 months. Okay, so if you are looking for something that within a space of 6 months, you'll get into that part and also have that real security that we are here to talk about, then you have to listen attentively. Okay, so what we've done from our own side is we went through different job boards that exist out there. All right, LinkedIn, Indeed, Glassdoor, Total Jobs, all these several jobs I can see right here. We went through them and we had one major aim, which jobs had the highest number of postings for the previous year. Okay, and after we've been able to see all those jobs, we're not able to also analyze all of them through what we call the World Economic Forum report. Okay, if you look at my screen, you're going to see wealth validation. Okay, and that is for us to know whether all those jobs that we've selected are they the jobs that are going to also be valid in the years to come. So World Economic Forum is like a forum where economic leaders, world leaders come together to discuss several topics. And part of what they talk about is the future of jobs report. And from that future of jobs report, can easily see jobs that are going to grow and jobs that are also going to decline. Okay, and after we've also looked at all these things, remember, first of all, we started from the job board. Okay, we brought out all the jobs with the highest number of postings. Then we passed it through the World Economic Forum reports for us to see, are these jobs going to also be valid in the next coming years? And then lastly, we're also able to validate it through what we call the regional analysis. All right, number one amongst them is, in the UK environment, like we all know right now, the immigration laws are constantly changing across the globe. So these jobs that we've selected, are they also going to be able to give you what you are looking for with respect to visa sponsorship? All right. So what we also realized is that all these jobs that were selected all met the eligible occupation list for skilled worker. All right. And that is our number 3 stage. Okay. But that's not just it for all. The same thing we did in UK, we also have to process it in US as well. Which jobs had the highest H1B acceptance rate in the United States, and also in Canada, which ones are within the provincial nominee programs. So after all this analysis, first of all, the job analysis side, they will have to validate it through the WEF validation and of course the regional analysis. We were able to come up with all these 8 career paths. Okay, we're able to come up with all these 8 career paths. Number 1 of them is business analysis. Then number 2, data analytics. Then number 3, data science. Number 4, agile project management. That's the Scrum Master. And then number 5, data engineering. And of course, number 6, cyber security analyst. Then we have HR analyst and also financial analyst. So what we saw is that all these 8 career paths, they all met what is needed within all these our analysis. The job board analysis, the WEF validation, and of course, the regional analysis. So quickly, let's even have a look at the regional analysis a step further. So if you've been following what's going on in the UK with the whole change in immigration laws and the new proposals, there's one thing that we've seen that is constant, okay? One takeaway that we've seen from the multiple changes from last year when we moved from the occupations list to eligible list, okay? When we move from the shortage occupation list to the eligible occupation list, there's one basic thing that remained constant. All these 8 career paths, they were still amongst jobs that can also be able to get all those visa sponsorship. All right. So even though they changed, it should be around April 2024 from the shortage occupation list to the eligible occupation list. All these 8 career paths they were amongst the jobs that still got into the eligible occupation list. And if you've also been following the new immigration laws that they are all playing around right now, you still notice that there is still some elements of privilege for people that belong in the tech environment. All right. For instance, the new policy change they're trying to work on is now that graduate visa now only lasts 18 months instead of 2 years that it used to be. So, and what you need to know is that 18 months is even more than enough for you to be able to land a job if you have a skill within all these 8 career paths that we have here. Okay, 18 months is more than enough. And also the skilled worker rate now limits to RQF of level 6. Okay, before it used to also be to the RQF of level 3, where if you are going towards the health aspect, you can at least be able to get in. But right now, the minimum proposal that you have right now is RQF of level 6. And all these 8 career paths are also within what they are looking for. Okay, and what does this tell you? No matter the aspect that the industry is tilting towards, you have the possibility of still being able to maneuver it if you're in the tech sector, right? No matter the aspect the immigration laws are going to hit from, once you have those tech skills, can actually be able to get in and be able to work, get skilled visa sponsorship from those UK environments. So quickly, if you get this slide, just feel free to click on any of this link. Once you click on it, it's going to bring you to this gov.uk, showing you all those eligible occupation lists and their own code. So quickly, let's just look at just one. So let's look at, let's say, cyber security, which is 2135. So if you come back to that gov.uk, you're going to go to 2135, and clearly you are going to see that you are still also part of people that are eligible. So 2135, let's quickly look at it before we move on to every other thing that we have for today. So 2135, this should be it. Cyber security professionals, okay? Are they qualified? Yes. All right, if you look, you're going to see cyber operational defense specialist, cyber security management and governance specialist, forensic computer specialist, secure system development specialist, cyber security professionals, and of course, not elsewhere classified. So this is to clearly show you that you are also still qualified. And same thing with all these other 8 career paths. So looking at it from all those changes that always happen for the immigration aspect, these 8 career paths are also still secure. Remember where we started from? We want you to be able to know the in-demand career paths out there. Number two, the ones that is also going to give you, of course, job security, and also the steps that you're going to be able to take to break in, and then finally, the easiest way for you to also be able to land a job without experience. Now, let's now have a quick look at the World Economic Forum report. If you've been following the news, you understand that each year there is this report that always comes out depicting what is happening towards the economy from the future of jobs aspect. So there's one major thing that they all proposed from the last meeting that they had, that in the next 5 years, by 2030, there are new jobs that are going to be created. And of course, there are ones that are going to be destroyed. So all these things that you see, all these green boxes, each box represents 1 million jobs, all right? And this indicates new jobs that are going to be created, all right? Why this red side indicates jobs that are going to be destroyed. And what we are seeing right now is that in the next 5 years, 470 million jobs are going to be created. And in that same process, of course, 92 million jobs will disappear. Then the guys that are within this blue range represent people that are just static right now. So what you want to do is to make sure that you move from this red side towards this green direction. All right, what you want to do is to make sure you move from the red side towards the green direction so that you are sure that your job is not in jeopardy. Okay, and which jobs are these jobs that are actually going to be growing? So clearly the fastest growing job as of today is the big data specialist. All right, they are the big data specialist. So if you're a data engineer, if you're a data analyst, data scientist, anybody that is processing data, analyzing data, and also utilizing all those data from the aspect of the big data analysis, you are a big data specialist. And what it simply means is that you are the most in-demand person in the world. All right? You are the most in-demand person in the world as of today. And not just that, if you also take a look at the number 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, number 6, you also see the data warehouse specialists. And that simply indicates the data engineers as well. So also you are seeing the AI and machine learning specialists. I know as of today, every single person on this call, I'm sure if we ask you, oh, what do you think is actually the fastest growing job? You say AI. Because everything that we are doing right now, there's an aspect of AI infused into it. But let me take you down the memory lane for a moment. So last year, 2024, the fastest growing job actually for last year used to be AI and machine learning specialists. Okay, and as at then, the big data specialists, they were the number 3 fastest growing job as well. So do you know what happened? Because of the whole new model of AI is coming up, okay, after that 2024, coming in 2025, we now realize that all those data, all those simulations, all those machine learning algorithms that we are all doing, someone needs to be able to process that data, analyze that data, and of course, store that data. That's why the big data specialist, now coming in 2025, became the fastest growing job as of today. Right? And what this is pointing you towards is to show you that all those 8 career paths that we've selected, that they are also among the fastest growing job. Okay, you can see the next set of people, the cybersecurity guys. You have your security management specialist, you have your Internet of Things specialist, and of course, your information security analyst. They all belong in the cybersecurity basket. So this is to clearly show you that all those 8 career paths that we've talked about, they are also amongst the fastest growing job as of today. Okay, so you can see the bigger picture right now. Are there jobs amongst the fastest growing jobs? Are there career paths there that we are not offering? Of course. I said earlier about robotics engineer. So if you can see my screen clearly, you see these guys. Let me just make an explanation using these guys in this bracket. All right. So DevOps engineer, renewable energy engineers, robotics engineers, blockchain developers, these career paths, are they also in demand? 100% they are. Are they also fast growing? 100% they are. But did they meet our own criteria? No. And that's why they're not amongst the courses that we are offering. And what are those our own criteria actually? One is ease of learning. So for you that you are coming from a background of being a customer service person or being a teacher, how easy do you think it would be for you to get into blockchain development or to become a robotics engineer. So you can see that that ease of learning is not existing. So because of it, it's not amongst the career path that we offer. And number two, ease of transitioning. What transferable skills do you have from where you are to the career path that you want to get into? It's very, very important for you to consider that. What transferable skill do you have from where you are right now to the career path that you want to be able to get into? So that ease of transitioning is not existing easily amongst all these four courses. Okay, and of course, we also have the high return, okay, high salary and all those aspects. Of course, they met that exact criteria. All the career paths in this high, fastest growing career path, they are all going to give you high returns. But that ease of learning and ease of transitioning is where you also need to be able to consider. All right. So someone is also asking me, please, where is financial analyst? Fantastic question, Toby Lover. I'm going to also get to that shortly. So there's also next page for all these things as well. So next page, and also going to be seeing the data analysts, the data engineers, agile project managers, and the other aspects of these things. Now, clearly for someone looking to become a financial analyst, remember, you also fall within the range of these data analysts that exist here. All right. So one key thing you need to understand is that financial analysts, HR analysts, operations analysts, all those elements of data analysts, they are actually purely data analysts that specialize in that aspect of data. Okay, so financial analysts are clearly data analysts that have also decided to specialize in financial aspects of data, which means clearly you fall within this bracket. Because for you to be able to analyze financials, you need those skills that a data analyst also need. All right, is business analysis amongst big data specialists? No, it is not. Walter. So clearly you can see business analyst here. So business analyst falls within process automation specialists, and of course also within these brackets of management and organization analysts. So one key thing I want all of us to note is that there's always changes with the names of all these things. For instance, if you're HR as of today, when we're starting up, I think it used to be human capital. From human capital, you move to HRBP, from HRBP, move to talent developer. For instance, as at last month, I say a role, and what the role was is chief of staff. And if you look on that job description, you're going to notice that it's actually HR that they are looking for. So constantly, organizations are also modifying their names, right? But what you want to do is to make sure you look at the deliverables to be able to know whether it is that exact skill that you have. So we've talked about the fastest growing jobs. So all the jobs that we have on this left-hand side, they all represent jobs that are going to grow. While the ones that we have on this right-hand side represent the ones that are going to decline. And as of today, what is the fastest declining career path? The fastest declining career path as of today, they are the postal service clerk. The postal service clerks. Okay, and if you look at the second one, it is bank tellers and related clerks. So when you look towards all the fastest declining career paths, they all have one thing in common. Those people within the clerk family, your job is fast gone. All right? Those people within the clerk family, your job is fast gone. Then there's one exact career path that actually stood out for me here, and that's the graphic designers. So if you look closely here, you're going to see graphic designer. They're also amongst the career path that are also fast declining. And why exactly are graphic designers amongst career paths that is also declining? Okay, it's because of the advent of several AI models as of today. All right, so as of today, there are several AI models out there that's going to help you do some things that graphic designers are going to do for you. So what you want to ask yourself is, what you are doing right now, how do you optimize for you to be able to offer more value to the organization? How do you give more for you to be able to remain valuable to the ecosystem? Okay, so if you're a graphic designer, for instance, you should know that ordinary graphic design is something that if you have Canva Pro, you should be able to get anything that you want. All right, so you should now start looking at what else can you offer the organization towards maybe becoming a creative director, understanding how to be also to be able to do motion graphics and the other aspects. Because just the core aspect of, oh, I'm a graphic designer, it is fast declining. Okay, so that's the same way, no matter where you are right now, make sure that what you are doing is not fast declining. The other guys that are also close to being within these brackets, the people within the legal family. So you can see legal officers, legal secretaries, they're all also fast declining. So if you're within these brackets, what you need to do is you need to be able to get the skill that exists on this left-hand side to support yourself within that place that you are at. Okay, I can see a couple of people sending a couple of questions. Oyinka is saying, I studied mass comm and I'm presently in television broadcasting. Which area of tech should I delve into? Fantastic question, Oyinka. So what I want all of us to do right now is a simple test, a quiz, for you to know the career path that you are meant to be in. Okay, so what we've done is, once we take this quiz, you can easily be able to know which career path should I get into. So I'm going to drop this link in the comment section for us to also be able to take this quiz while the session is also going on. So I'll drop it in the comment section, click on it, and also watch what I am doing. So all you have to do is just simple. Of all these 8 career paths, which one are you actually closest to? All right, so once you click on that link that I've dropped right now, it's going to bring you to this page. So I've clicked on the link, and it's going to bring me to the page for me to check the career path that I should be able to get into. Okay, I hope we can all see my screen. So once you get to this page, quiz page, all you have to do now is just to follow the prompts for you to now know which career path should I be able to get into as of today from the experience that I currently have. Which career path can I easily get into as of today? Okay, 1 second. I think my screen is having a little bit of issue. 1 second, I'll bring it back up so that we can also be able to see what I'm saying. But from your own side, please, let's make sure that we take that quiz. I just dropped the link. My colleague Elijah also just dropped the link as well. So all you have to do is click on that link. It's going to take you to the quiz session and take the quiz. So you can easily be able to know which career path should I actually be able to get into. Once you click on it, just click on get started. It's going to ask you a couple of questions. Oh, I mean, we all want to be in the tech industry. Fantastic. It's already smelling like success. All right. Once you click on let's go, it's going to bring you to a page where you start just put in your details for you to move on to the next aspect. So my name is Chukwemeka, so I'm going to put my name, Chukwemeka, and of course my last name, which is Ekba. My mobile address, I'm going to use my Nigerian line 9878, and then my email address, which is chukwemeka@analytics.io. So once I do these things, I simply agree and move on to the next. So what you're going to be getting is you'll be asked a couple of questions for you to determine the career path that you are suitable for. So I tribe, I love the engaging, and so on and so forth. So let me answer as it pleases me as well, okay? So I'm selective, I like people, but I need balance. I prefer to work solo or behind the scenes. That's my thing. I want to work solo and not be in anyone's face, okay? What best describes your current or most recent job? Okay, my most recent job, let's say it's within marketing, sales, or operation. That's what I've been doing, okay? So let's get into it. So which of these sounds more like me? I like solving problems with people and organizing teams. I prefer working with data and finding patterns. I enjoy protecting systems and finding vulnerabilities and so on and so forth. Just read it. Link not going on my own end. Samsung, if you want to check again, all right? You want to try again because that's the same link that I'm also using. All right, so for me, I enjoy protecting systems. So I'm going to simply click on it. Okay, how comfortable am I with working with these tools, Excel, Google Sheet, or numbers, and so on and so forth? Very comfortable, somewhat comfortable. I use it when necessary. I prefer dashboards. I want to avoid numbers if I can. I don't want to avoid it, so I use it when necessary. So let's get into it. So what's your take on coding? Oh, I love coding. I'm okay with light coding. I'm curious but not sure. I prefer logic puzzles. I'd rather manage tech teams, not code. For me, I'm just curious, but I'm not sure if I enjoy it. So let me just, go with it as well. So after selecting it also, what kind of work environment do I also prefer? Is it a strategy and decision-making role? Is it independent role? Is it helping others? Is it security conscious? let's say, strategy and decision making. And of course, what's most important to me right now? Job security on the long run, landing high-tech job. I want to lead teams, remote job. Of course, at my own age, I'm very, very open to risk. So job security, maybe not it for me. I just want to be able to land high-paying tech job, okay? Because I'm still very much, very, very young. So let's go with landing a high-paying job. And then let's go next. What kind of impact do I want to make? Of course, number one, it is from a leading organization change and transforming business operations. So let's go for it. All right. So once I click on it, next thing I'm seeing now is which course sounds more appealing to me. Okay. You can now be able to also select the one that sounds appealing to you as well. So let's say so many options, I'm confused. All right. But then let me tap here for it to now tell me from all my answers, which program should I actually be able to get into? So you can easily see that it is telling me straight the strategist, business analysis. Okay, I'm a fixer. I think in systems and processes, and so on and so forth. And of course, I should be able to do business analysis. So next thing is now for me to be able to decide whether I want to step into it or if I want to also book a call to converse with the analytics team. So this is very, very simple. All right. So let's all quickly also try to take that same quiz so that we can also be able to determine the career path that we should be going for. Right. So within the next 1 minute, if you've been able to see yours, also feel free to drop it in the comment section so that we can also see the number of people and also the career path that you've also been able to select. All right. Click on the link and then also take the quiz. And if you don't want to do it right now, make sure that you also fill the attendance form that my colleague Dorcas is dropping so that you have access to this slide and recorded version of this discussion. So what will happen is when you get the slide, from your own side, you can now decide to take the quiz at your own pace and now be able to select the career path that is very, very much aligned to you. I'm stuck on the information page. Okay, Samsung, I'm noticing that you're having challenges. Please, is another person having the same challenge that Samsung is having? Or it might be from your own aspect, Samsung. Please check your internet and also check, definitely your internet provider. Because it's very, very simple quiz platform. Once you click on the link, it's just going to be continuous that within 2 minutes, you should be done taking the quiz. Are we all done? I just completed the quiz, business analysis. It is welcome blessing. You're in the same part with me. I hope we get to meet soon. All right. So if you're done with the quiz, just drop your own assigned course. Let's see the career path that most people in this call the career path we are all tilting towards. We have Blessing, the first person to finish, and she's going towards business analysis. We have Erica. Erica is going towards HR analytics. So please, let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming. Ayala is also business analytics. Let's keep it coming. Let's keep it coming so I can see the first 10 people, the career path we are moving to. Okay, I have HR analyst as well. So we have 2 BA, 3 BA, 1 HR, as so on and so forth. Okay, I have Saliu. Saliu is now getting towards data analytics. Fantastic. So this is to clearly also give you a direction towards where you are headed to. Fantastic. I have my guy, JD Boa, cybersecurity. So it's giving you a pathway towards where you actually link to. All right. And what I want you to also understand is that it's giving you an idea. For instance, remember a HR analyst, a finance analyst, a data analyst, they are all analysts, but now have different varieties of specialization. Okay. So even if you're getting something and that's not where your heart is telling you that you want to be, of course, you can also click on that book to have a personal conversation with us. And we're going to look at your background and also be able to advise you. All right, so we can all do the quiz later on, but make sure that you utilize that quiz platform. In fact, before this call is over, I want you to utilize it before I start explaining all those career paths. Okay, but after you've done selecting your own career path, after you've now selected, oh, I want to be a data analyst, I want to be this, I want to be that, how exactly can you be able to navigate that pathway to becoming someone that should land a job? All right, because the end goal is simple. We want to be able to move from where we are right now to landing a tech job. All right, so what are the different things that you need to do? Remember, the first thing we talked about is learning. You need to be able to learn. And how exactly are you going to be learning? How exactly are you going to be learning? Okay, one is you are going to be learning through a self-paced learning material. So you have the LMS, which are going to provide for you, for us to be able to walk you through the things that your classroom will not also be able to show you. So you have the LMS for you to watch pre-recorded video, and also you're going to have a live interactive class. So the same way I'm conversing with you right now, that's the same way someone is going to be in the classroom walking you through all that you need to know. Okay, so you're going to be learning through two main aspects: live classes and also self-paced learning materials. We are going to be getting multiple videos to also add up to what you currently have. Okay, Titi, I've asked for a one-on-one because I'm confused, but no one. Okay, all right, Titi, that's fantastic. Definitely, we are going to get back to you. My own issue is that I don't know anything tech or computer at all legally. Fantastic. Just stay on the call. I'm going to walk us through all those different career paths so that we can also be able to understand them again. All right. So, but remember, for you to learn, live classes and also self-paced instructor-led courses. Now, some people want to make decisions from a place of financials. So I've taken the pain of bringing the average salary that every one of them earn in UK, US, or Canada. But one thing I always mention to people is this: make sure that you're not making your decision from the financial perspective. Okay? Don't make your decision from the financial perspective, because all of them, they are going to give you the money that you are looking for. Okay? In fact, let me play a simple scenario for all of us now. From what I have on my screen now, the highest earners here are data engineers and also the cybersecurity guys. Data engineers and cybersecurity are the highest earners from our own research. But let me ask all of us a very quick question. If you are a cybersecurity working, let's say, in the government parastatal, okay, cybersecurity professional working with the government, or a data analyst working in oil and gas, who do you think is going to earn more? The cybersecurity guy in government parastatal or the data analyst in oil and gas? Who do you think is going to earn more? Let me see the people that actually stay here with me. Cybersecurity in government parastatal or data analyst in oil and gas, who is going to earn more? Gizmo mentioned oil and gas. Fantastic. Water data analyst, OMA data analyst, TC data analyst. Fantastic. And that's to show you that there is also another element that plays a role with regards to your earning power. Okay? There's also another element that plays a role, the sector of the economy that you decide to fall into. And one key thing that I've noticed is that in the tech space, a business analyst, you can work in all sectors of the economy. A data analyst, you can work in all sectors. Data science, the same thing. All these career paths that we have right here, they all can work in all the sectors of the economy. And that is the beauty of tech. So when people mention the tech sector, I always wonder what they mean by the tech sector, because tech is embedded inside all the sectors that exist at the moment. Are you talking about the energy sector? They are using tech. Are you talking about education sector? We're using tech to offer this training. Are you talking about financial sector? Of course, they also make use of tech to build their platforms. So constantly, the tech guys are embedded into all sectors of the economy. So one major thing that's also going to determine your earning power is around the sector that you decide to fall in. Then number two, after you've already learned the skill that you want to have, next thing that you need to do is to craft a magnetic job-ready profile, right? So I was going through Twitter day before yesterday. I saw something that one guy posted. He said that he just optimized his profile, added a couple of AI, and said that he's ex Palantir, ex G's, ex that, and that he can do so and so thing. All lies. And he now sent out, proposals to different VCs. And some people actually got back to him, and 4 people booked calls with him. And this is a guy that everything that he packaged in his CV, none of them is true. So he just packaged, oh, I'm ex-Google, I'm ex-Palantir, I have AI this, I have AI that, and he sent it out, and he was getting called back. That is what packaging can actually do for you. But why packaging is number 2 is because before you package yourself, you need to first of all learn the skill. Okay? I hope we are still here. Before you package yourself, you need to first of all learn the skill. So that's the reason why packaging is number 2, why learn is number 1. So both of them are very, very important. Learning, packaging. But if you package without learning and you are called back, your emptiness is going to be noticed. So when we talk about packaging, what exactly do we mean? All right, what exactly do we mean when we talk about packaging? Let's look at a simple profile of someone that joined our program before. So we have Hope. Hope had certification as a project manager, but could not land a job in Canada. So when she joined our own Agile Project Management program in September of 2024, she got a job in December of 2024. And what actually happened is this. When Hope got her own certification, she lacked those basic skills of how do you utilize Jira, how do you use Trello, how do you utilize Asana. But as a project manager, those are necessary requirements that you need to have. But she just got a certificate. Oh, I'm now a certified Scrum Master. But she lacked the technical skills. So because of that, she came to us. She was now walked through the program. She got the skill that she needed, and she landed a role as a project analyst in Canada. So that's the same thing that we are also going to do for you. All right, that's the same thing that we are also going to do for you. And the several aspects of packaging that you are going to have from us, that includes, first of all, how do you build your portfolio? How do you build your portfolio? So there's one basic question I always ask everyone. There's one basic question I always ask everyone. If you have a car as of today and your car spoils, are you going to give your car to someone that came to you and said, oh, I'm a graduate of, let's say I'm a graduate of Harvard University Mechanical Engineering, bring your car, let me repair it for you, right? Are you going to give your car to that person, first class, Mechanical Engineering, Harvard University? Or are you going to give your car to the mechanic on the roadside saying, oh, this is my mechanic workshop. I've repaired Aston Martin, I've repaired Benz, I've repaired Volkswagen, I've repaired Toyota. Bring your car, let me repair it for you. So who are you going to give it to? The Harvard guy or the roadside mechanic with evidence of workshop? Am I shouting? Am I shouting roadside mechanic? Fantastic. I have a couple of also dropping their own people. iPhone said roadside. Gizmo said Harvard guy. Fantastic. Violet said roadside mechanic. Oyinka roadside mechanic. Now, clearly, what happens most times is that we're actually going to give it to the guy with the experience. All right? If somebody is telling you, oh, I have a degree from so and so mechanical engineering, bring your car, let me repair it for you. Trust me, Esther and Gizmo, you're not going to give it to them. You're not going to give it to them. You're going to ask them, oh, where are the cars you've repaired? Where is your mechanic workshop? And questions like that. And that is where the importance of portfolio comes in when you are looking for a job. Okay, so if you're looking for a job and you do not have the portfolio, you are going to find it challenging because you're just saying to them, oh, I have this certificate, give me the job. There's no evidence of what you've been able to do before now. So for you to be able to show value and show that you are competent over certification, you need to be able to show them evidence of things that you've done before now. So quickly, let me also walk us through the portfolio of a past student. All right, so Victoria used to be a student, data analytics, right? And when she was with us, she worked on this project, Deep Care Hospital ER visit analysis. She also worked on Redux airline flight analysis. She worked on Express Tech food delivery. She worked on Nestle product and also Zenith Electronics. Now, if you go through all of them one after the other, you're going to notice one thing. They are all in different sectors of the economy. All right, they are all in different sectors of the economy. First one is in the health sector. Redux Airline is in the aviation sector. Express Tech is in supply chain. Nestle Product is in FMCG. And then Zenith Electronics is in the tech sector. And when you click on any of them, for instance, let me click on the health one, you're going to see evidence of what Victoria had to do. So she can now be able to speak from a place of experience. Oh, while I was consulting with analytics, I worked on this project that allowed me to analyze ER hospital visit analysis. And from it, I was able to notice that the total number of patients for the year was around 9,216. average waiting time was around 35 minutes, 26 seconds. And one key thing I identified that I want to do is, how do I improve the waiting time? I did this, I did that, and because of it, our average waiting time reduced from 35 minutes to 30 minutes. And because of that, it improved our turnover, which in turn improved our revenue. So when you speak like this, recruiters are going to know, oh, this guy actually has experience. He knows what he is talking about. Okay? He has experience, he knows what he's talking about. So it's important for us to know what you can give the company. Okay? And the only way you can also be able to show that value is from the things that you've been able to work before now. So this is the way they can get experience without getting experience. So while you are learning with us, we are going to be working on several real-life case studies like this that can also be able to present as evidence of experience that you already have in different sectors of the economy. Now, when you go for job interviews, you can now comfortably speak, oh, when I was consulting with analytics, I worked on this project. When I was working with analytics, I worked on that project. So that is how you can also be able to show experience without actually needing to land a job. Okay, you can see the importance of portfolio. The same way we're going to ask the mechanic guy, oh, where's your workshop? That's the same way recruiters also want to see your portfolio before they give you the job. And also, when you are trying to package yourself, your CV is very, very critical. All right. And what we do from our own side is that 2 months after you join the program, we are going to work on your CV. Okay. So why 2 months is because within that space of time, you should be able to get the substantial skills for you to actually start hitting those jobs immediately. So your CV is going to be worked on so that when you apply to jobs, it's going to at least be ATS compliant. All right. And then we're also going to teach you how do you tailor your CV down to the jobs that you are going for. Because it's one thing for you to have a CV that's been worked on. It's another thing for you to also know, how do I tailor my CV to the specifics of the job? Because what I always advise you is that you can't use one CV to apply to multiple jobs. All right, you cannot. So for each job that you're going for, you need to be able to know, how do you tailor it down to the objectives of that company. Okay, and once you're able to do that, you are going to at least scale that initial applicant tracking system. The number 2 is also help you with LinkedIn optimization. Remember, all these things are part of your packaging. Okay, at a point last year, we're trying to hire a data analyst from Ivory Coast. I don't speak French, but we needed a French-speaking data analyst. So what we simply did was we went to LinkedIn and searched for data analysts in Ivory Coast, and it brought out every single one of them that had a public profile. And we simply headhunted, had discussion, and chose our guy. So LinkedIn is always the easiest, the fastest, and the cheapest means of hiring. So if you are not active there, you are leaving money on the table. So what we're going to do also is we're going to teach you through our own 90 days challenge to build up your LinkedIn profile so that when people search, oh, you want to be a cybersecurity person, but so LinkedIn is not showing anything regarding that. So you are going to build it up within that space of time. So we are going to walk you through LinkedIn optimization and also how you can navigate the job market. Then interview prep sessions, very important. You've landed a job, but you don't even know how to speak during job interviews. For instance, they've asked you a question that is situation-based. I do not know how to answer it. You can simply use the STAR framework, which represents situation, task, action, and then result to answer these questions. So situation can be, oh, they've asked you, oh, hi, Chukwemeka, tell me about a time where you've worked on data to bring out insights that provided value for the company. Can speak from, oh, thank you for that question. While I was consulting with analytics, I worked on this hospital ER visit analysis, which I had to do this, I had to do that. I had to bring out the several data sets and also saw the highest number of visits. But my main action was, how do I reduce the average waiting time of the customers from 36 minutes to 30 minutes? I did this, I did that, and because of it, I was able to achieve that, which returned to improved customers and also improved revenue. So when you speak like this, you've been able to answer the question in a concise and precise manner. S stands for situation, which means the situation you are in while you were consulting with analytics. TAS stands for the project that you worked on, which is the hospital ER visit analysis. A stands for the different actions that you took. Oh, I was able to use Power BI to analyze data sets. I did this, I did that. And R stands for the returns, which means what did it reward to, which is, oh, it improved the number of customers, which also increased our revenue. So when you speak like this, recruiters are going to know, oh, this person actually worked on a project. This person have actually had a real life experience. And also when you land all these job invites, we're also available to provide you with job references and recommendation letter. In the past 1 week, I think I've written close to 17 references for our past students. So constantly, because we always ask them, make sure you mention that you are working with us or that you are consulting with us. So we're also available to provide you with all those reference letters at any point that they need it. So we provide you with reference letter and also give you on-the-job support in the events that you still struggle. And also weekly mentorship session where you come into the class and our mentors walk you through the different aspects that you need to understand. For instance, this week, we are planning to do something on how do you troubleshoot your challenges? As a data analyst, as a cybersecurity person, is it every single time that you have an issue, you start running helter-skelter? What do you actually do when you have a challenge? So all these things are the mentorships that people actually need for them to be able to sustain the job that they've also been able to learn. And also Upwork session where we'll now teach you how to utilize Upwork to make £50 here, $50 here, €50 here, 50,000 naira here, as the case may be. So if you want to learn how to freelance also using Upwork, we also give it to you within the packages that we have for you. So all these things together with the technical skills that you've gotten before, that what is going to help you land the job. Okay, remember, first thing is for you to learn. Second thing is for you to package yourself. And then number 3 is for you to apply. Then still within that same packaging, all our programs, they are for 8 months. And why it's 8 months is you are going to be learning in the classroom for 6 months. And then you're going to be having an internship experience with us for 2 months. So you will learn all those key skills with analytics for 6 months. And then you have an internship experience with Amdari for 2 months. So you have the unique opportunity of having 2 leading tech companies in your CV. So all those experience that you need for you to land a job, we are able to give it to you. That means you're able to work with 2 companies while still actually learning the skills that you need. Oh, while I was consulting with analytics. Oh, while I was interning with Amdari. These are the things. So you need to also be able to package yourself. And of course, analytics is fully registered in Canada, while Amdari is fully registered in the United Kingdom. So if you're also looking for external experience, foreign experience, they are also there to provide you with all those experience that you require. Then applying. When it comes to job, I always mention to people that it doesn't end at learning the skill and packaging yourself. I think one major miscommunication that my colleagues in the industry has done is that everybody's always saying, oh, once you get the skills, job is going to pursue you and so on and so forth. Of course, it can pursue you. That is a fact. There are some times that it pursue you, but you also need to be able to apply with precision. You need to be able to apply to this job. It's a numbers game, right? I have a guy in Nigeria. He used to be in Ekiti, but he got a job and he's working from Nigeria for a company in the United States. He had to move from Ekiti to Abuja. And right now, he's living the best life that he wants to live. But it was a numbers game for him. He said that there's no day that he doesn't apply to over 20 jobs. And this lasted for more than a month before he was able to land the gig that he was looking for. So it's a numbers game. You're not going to say, because I have the skill, I've learned it, I've packaged myself, job is going to pursue me. No. You also need to be able to apply to jobs. And what we have done from our own side is we are going to provide you with some jobs. So we have our own job boards. And what we do is we scrape different job boards that are also, providing visa sponsorships through their own job postings. So we scrape them and provide it for our students to apply to them. Okay? And we also teach you how do you tailor your CV for you to actually be able to apply to at least 10 quality applications per day. And that means you are not going to reuse any CV for any of those things. All right? So all these things, when you're able to target it through this streamlined approach, trust me, you are going to land a job. At the moment, our success rate is currently at 89%. What this simply means is that 89 people out of 100 guys that come into our program get to move on to what they're looking for. They get to land the job they want, they get to get the remote role, they get the visa sponsorship and so on and so forth. But the 11% that did not achieve what they wanted, does it mean we didn't give them the same thing? The answer is no. But where people fall out is in the application side. Remember, we are going to teach everyone the same thing, learning the same thing, packaging the same thing. But when it comes to application, we are going to provide you with the jobs, but the responsibility of applying to them rests solely on you. And this is where people fall out, because applying to a job is a job on its own. So you need to be able to tailor your CV down, apply to quality jobs, and of course, land the job that you're looking for. If you do that same thing, trust me, you are going to fall within this 89% bracket that's been able to move from our program into landing amazing things that they want out there. So all these things that I've mentioned, remember, is just within 3 different steps. Learn the skill, package yourself, and then apply to the job that you want. It's going to definitely lead you to landing a job. Okay? Gizmo is saying you believe so well that some of us without any experience can really catch up. Fantastic, Gizmo. You know, I always speak from like this because I'm a living witness. All right. So before, let me, digress a little bit because of the question Gizmo asked. I studied civil engineering. Today, I'm the CEO of a tech company. My founder studied, I think, economics. Co-founder also studied, I think, industrial chemistry. And today, we all run a tech company. So Gizmo, trust me, I'm speaking like this because it's something that I've experienced. Okay, so you do not need to be a computer scientist or you need to be a mathematician or statistician for you to be able to get into this sector. Trust me, with that skill that you have, just look for the transferable pathway into the tech sector and be able to land a job. And that's why it's important for all of us to be able to take that quiz. So from there, you can easily be able to see the one that you are easily aligned to. All right. If you ask most people in the tech sector, if there are 100 people in this industry, more than 50% of them do not have any computer science background. In fact, I studied civil engineering, started my career from banking, moved to a fintech, moved to another tech company before I landed into educational tech. So my career path started from the, what's it called, working on sites. So working in the bank, that's where I transitioned to the tech ecosystem. So it is possible for you to also make the same switch. All right. But remember this process: learn, package, and apply. That's the same process that all these guys that you're seeing on our screen has also been able to utilize. Ikmas, like we saw earlier, she used to be a stay-at-home mom, but she transitioned to data analytics, got 2 visa-sponsored jobs that she had to now select the one that she wanted. Ramat used to be a customer success rep in UK. She transitioned to business analysis, also got the visa sponsorship that she was looking for. Soyin used to be a pharmacist. She transitioned and also got what she was looking for. So for you to have access to this slide, please make sure that you fill the attendance form. All right, make sure that you fill the attendance form so that once I'm done with this session, my colleagues will send the slides to you so they can also be able to go through it and also be able to hear what these guys had to say and also be able to land the jobs that you are looking for. Okay, so all these, they are all possible. Okay, they are all clearly possible. Laura is doing the same thing. She used to be an accountant, transitioned to business analysis, and landed a role as a project manager in United Kingdom, and so many others that also did the same transition. So you are not the first, and you are not going to be the last. Like I said earlier, we've helped close to 2,900 people transition from our classroom into the tech ecosystem. And you also can be the next person, all right? But first thing you need to do is, which career path is very suitable for you, all right? That is the first thing that you need to do. What skills do you need to have for you to be able to land those jobs that you are looking for, all right? So right now, make sure you have your pen and paper, because I'm about to explain all those individual courses for us to know the one that is also suitable to us. Okay, I know some of us will take in the quiz, also try to understand what each of these career paths that you decided to be in, what they actually entail, okay, before you make decisions. So a business analyst first. who exactly is a business analyst? So these are people that come into organization to improve and optimize processes. All right. So they come into companies to make sure that this process is streamlined, optimized, and standardized. They make sure that everything flows the way that it ought to be. All right. And these guys are also responsible for communication between the non-technical stakeholders and the technical stakeholders. So what do I mean by this? The technical stakeholders can be your software developers, back-end engineer, data analysts, cybersecurity guys, and so on and so forth. While your non-technical guys can be your CEOs, CFOs, CCOs, or the CEOs that you can think of. The business analyst is there to make sure that information flows seamlessly from the non-technical guys to the technical guys, and from the technical guys to the non-technical guys as well. And there are people that will interface with every single stakeholder in the company. All right. So if you're not someone that you're not a people's person, if you are running from communication, then you should run from this part as well. But if you are someone that you are open to communication, open to conversing with your colleagues, and also being able to improve processes, then you should be looking at business analysis. And what are the things that you are going to be learning? So before now, this exact learning point doesn't used to be here. That's the data analyst. All right, that's the Excel, Power BI, and SQL, right? But what we realize is that business analysts now, recruiters are looking for business analysts that have data skills. All right, they're looking for business analysts that have data skill because they want someone that should also be able to make sense of the data. All right, they want someone that should be able to make sense of the data. So it's important for you as a business analyst also to learn Excel, Power BI, and SQL. And these are part of the things that you are going to be taught in the program. They are now going to move on to process mapping. Of course, for you to improve a process, you need to first of all understand what are the different aspects that exist in this process. What's the different touch points that exist? So you're going to be learning process mapping, of course, utilizing Lucid Charts and Draw.io to map out that customer journey for you to know where improvement needs to be done. And once you've identified where improvement needs to be done, that is where project initiation come in. Because someone needs to also initiate this exact project. Someone needs to be able to initiate the project. So you need to understand how do you initiate projects. Okay, you need to understand project initiation planning and also the pathway, the actual framework that you're going to now use to work on that project has to now involve Agile and Scrum. Okay, so you can see that a business analyst will also learn part of project management. A business analyst will learn part of project management, and then you now move down towards your core business analysis course, starting from software development life cycle, your requirements fundamentals. How do you get out information from all the stakeholders that exist within the organization? Elicitation method, stakeholder analysis, and of course, how do you infuse AI for business analysis? So this is now your core business analysis. So clearly you can see that a business analyst can work as a data analyst because you've learned Excel, Power BI, and SQL. A business analyst can also decide to go through the path of project management. And of course, a business analyst can also function as a core business analyst. So you have three different career paths they can decide to push through once you are done with your own project management, with your own business analysis program. I hope you all understand who these guys are. Now, the next guys that we have here, they are the Agile project managers. So if you've ever heard the no code area in tech, these are the guys, no code area. Agile project managers, Scrum masters. So they are not doing anything that is related to coding or technicalities at all. Their responsibility is simple. They serve as leaders and coach within a project management team. So they serve as leaders and coach within a project team in any company. And what they do is to make sure that everyone is working using the Agile methodology. All right, to make sure that everyone is working using the Agile methodology. So easily speaking, if you're someone that you have that leadership prowess, you're someone that you can easily, call the shots and make people follow you, then you already have a career path that is tilting towards agile project management. It is no code area, not doing anything technical. The things that you're going to be learning is simply how do you utilize Confluence, how do you utilize Jira, how do you also utilize Trello for collaboration and also for your project tracking. All right, so it is purely no code area in tech. First thing you're able to be learning is you're going to work through different methodologies and the structures that exist in project management. Understand the waterfall aspect of PM and also the agile aspect of project management. Then you're going to be work through the skills and communication, the foundation of agile and Scrum as well, before you now move fully into Scrum framework, ideally. You're going to be work through understanding the Scrum framework, the different Scrum artifacts that are out there, and then advanced Scrum and agile practices. How do you organize your daily Scrum, daily stand-ups, as we call it, as of today, and then end-to-end use of how to use Jira and, of course, Confluence. You're also going to learn Kanban boards, because the truth is that sometimes, if you're trying to manage a project, sometimes waterfall may not work, sometimes agile may not work. It's something as simple as Kanban board that can actually be able to utilize to solve that exact project challenge. So I'm also going to work through it, and you will learn how to analyze the different metrics that your people in your team are coming up with. Your velocity chart, burn up and burn down chart, for you to know when your team is performing above optimal and when they're below par. And of course, leadership and real-world application. Remember, an agile product manager, they are simply leaders in this tech community. You're also going to learn Nexus Scale Scrum, which involves how do you manage multiple projects iteratively, and everything you are going to learn will prepare you for the professional Scrum Master examination. So next one we have here, they are the data engineers. The data engineers. So most time, one thing I realize is that when people are coming from the engineering background and they want to break into tech, they always want to, I want to be a data engineer. The reason is they want to maintain their engineering status. Because you used to be a civil engineer, electrical engineer, software, different varieties of engineer. You want to now come into the tech sector and you want to remain a data engineer because of the engineer associated with it. But who exactly are these guys? So number one thing that we need to know is that data engineers, they are very, very heavy on coding, So they are very, very heavy on coding. So if you want to be amongst the guys that are going to be heavily coding, then you should be looking towards data engineers. And what these guys do is simple. They serve, the same way that when you go to construction companies, you have your plumbers. Your plumbers are responsible for making sure that water flows seamlessly within the house. Water flows from the tank down to the shower, to your kitchen sink, to your tap, to your WC, and several other places. They built the pipeline to make sure that water flows. That's the same thing that a data engineer is going to be doing to make sure that data flows easily within the ecosystem. So, for instance, let's assume you have a banking account. I believe we all have bank accounts, right? If you perform an activity through internet banking, through mobile app, through POS, through USSD, through social media, through physical interaction, once you go to your bank balance, the balance is going to be accurate to what you want. Because all those different channels, someone has built a pipeline to make data to flow seamlessly from one point to the other. So that is what data engineers do. They build data pipelines to make sure that data flows seamlessly within the ecosystem. And first thing you're going to be understanding is introduction to data engineering, where you're going to be learning the data lifecycle management, data architecture, and so on and so forth. Then you move on to SQL, which is structured query language. How do you query database to be able to bring out data that already exists there? And also, how do you put data into the database? Then, of course, Python programming, and then Linux operating system. So at this point, you're no more going to be interfacing with just Windows OS and Mac OS. You're going to also be working with Linux operating system. Then clearly, you're going to be learning how do you build custom ETL pipeline. ETL pipeline, ETL simply stands for extraction, transformation, and then loading. You've extracted data from a source. You've transformed it in your IDE, which is your integrated development environment. It can be your Google Colab, it can be your Jupyter Notebook, as the case may be, and then you are loading it to a database. So clearly you learn how to extract, transform, and then load data. This is ideally might be your daily activity as a data engineer. Then Apache Spark and Apache Airflow helps you to understand how do you automate this exact process so they're not repeating one action over and over again every single day. Okay, so cloud engineering is also part of what you're going to be learning. GCP, Azure, and also AWS. How do you manage data on cloud? And then version control using GitHub, and then ChatGPT and GitHub Copilot. So if you're someone that you want to be in the aspect of tech where you're going to be heavily coding, building different pipelines for people to make use of data, then you should be looking at data engineers. So next guys that we have here, they are the data scientists. All right, so they are the data scientists. And we'll talk about data science. These guys answer 3 basic questions. All right, they answer what we call descriptive analytics, and then they answer diagnostic analytics, all right, and then they also answer predictive analytics. So descriptive, diagnostic, and then predictive. And what this simply means is that they will tell you this is what happened. All right, this is why it happened, and then also tell you this is what is going to happen in future. So they tell you descriptive part of the data, diagnostic aspects, why it happened, and of course, the futuristic model. So let me give you an example. Let's say that once you understand what happened for your financial accounts as a data analyst or financial data analyst and data scientist, as the case may be. So let's say last year, data analytics, we posted a revenue of 100 million, let's say $1 million, okay, hypothetically, $1 million. Now, this $1 million, the data analysts have come to tell us, or the data scientists have told us that we made 500,000 from US, we made 200,000 from UK, and we made 200,000 again from Canada, and then we made 100K from the rest of the world. Now, this is telling us descriptive. This is what happened to our data. How did we make our $1 million? This is it. What happened? Now, is this sufficient for us to make decisions? No. So we also need to know, why is this so? So for instance, the data scientists or data analyst is required to also analyze this data and tell us why, which is the diagnostic aspect of it. So the guy might not be scoping through several data sets that the company have, and he looked at the marketing budget. And from there, he was able to notice that in the marketing budget, we allocated 50% of our budget went to the US. 20% of our budget went to advertising in UK, and then 20% also to advertising in Canada, and of course 20% as well, and 10% rather, to the rest of the world. So clearly there is now a what and there is now a why. So if the company is now looking to improve their revenue for the rest of the world, the recommendation from data analyst is going to also be, we should be looking at improving our marketing budget for the rest of the world, because there is what we call, there's a similarity between marketing budgets and our revenue. Okay, so he's been able to tell us this is what happened, and this is the reason why it's happened. Now, for you to be able to predict and build the future, you need to now look at what happened previous year, what happened year before, what happened 3 years ago, and from there, be able to build a predictive model that should now tell you, oh, if we continue on this pathway, by 2027, this is the revenue projection that we are going to be having. So this is clearly data science, all right? Remember, she'll be able to tell us what happened, why it happened, and also tell us the future. So things that you're going to be learning include statistics, okay, forecasting and predictive analytics, and then Tableau and also SQL. So these first 4 tools that you learn, is going to also prepare you to be able to work as a data analyst. So these first four tools will also allow you to work as a data analyst. But from Python downwards is now your core data science course. So you're now learning how do you build predictive models using Python programming that should tell you the future. Okay, how do you build machine learning algorithms and AI models that will learn and be able to replicate what you've done, to be able to predict and give you actionable impact into what is going to happen. And then also, how do you build computer vision? For instance, if you're looking at me right now, a lot of activities are going behind my back. But because there's a vision that is already saying, just recognize the face and ignore everything and put a backdrop there, everyone is now just seeing me. So these are things that you're going to now be bringing to life. A data scientist also is also going to need to understand GitHub and, of course, Microsoft Fabrics and also the ChatGPT aspect of data science. So data science has an element of coding also involved in it, element of coding involved. Then next, let's look at the data analyst. So this data analyst, remember the way that a data scientist answered the descriptive, the diagnostic, and the predictive. A data analyst is just going to answer the two. A data analyst is just going to answer two aspects of it, and that's simply descriptive and diagnostic. So a data analyst will answer descriptive and diagnostic, which is the what and the why. What happened and why did it happen? A data analyst will be able to answer it completely. And for them to be able to answer those questions, that is where understanding problem solving come in. Understanding Excel, and then of course, understanding SQL, and then Power BI and Tableau. Then very important, how to tell a story. Because if you've been following us since we started from a particular point, and we're able to come to this. If we started this conversation, the person I said is, oh, for you to be a data analyst, this is what you need to do. A lot of people are going to fall off. But because we took you on a journey, we're able to understand the storytelling. So as a data analyst, it's important for you to understand data storytelling. All right. And of course, ChatGPT for analytics and Microsoft Fabrics. So many people confuse data analytics and data science. Some people even say, oh, data science is like a senior brother to data analytics. But all of them, they are career paths on their own. You can decide to be a data analyst from junior, you're moving to a senior data analyst to being a team lead data analyst and so forth, and grow in that exact pathway. Okay, and data science is also on its path. So people always mention, oh, you can be a data analyst and then to start from there and then learn to become a data scientist later on. Data analysts clearly answer two questions. That's descriptive and diagnostic, which is you being able to say what happened and why it happened. But once you start building predictive models to tell the future, once you start writing lines of code, you're now tilting towards data science aspect of it. And that is purely data science. So I always mention to people, if you want to be in the analytics path, but you don't want to code, all right, you're running from coding, but you want to be in the analytics part, then data analytics will be clear for you. And one thing I've also seen over my years in this industry is that no matter the career path that you are coming from, we all have transferable skills to data analytics. We always all have transferable skills to data analytics. And that the reason is this, because anything you are doing, you're constantly interacting with data. So it simply means that you can always build your own experience level from that exact side. Okay, so the next one is also financial analyst and then HR analyst. Okay, Kion is asking, does that mean that data science is a mixture of data analytics and data engineering? Fantastic question, Kion. So this is an easier way to put it. All right, because clearly a data scientist can work as a data analyst, and a data scientist can do a couple of things that is in data engineering. Okay, I hope that answers your question. But remember, they are all career paths on their own. They are all career paths that are parallel to their own lane. Data analysts exist, data scientists exist, data engineers exist. But then there are some identifiable skills that you can easily be able to have. If you are a data scientist, you can 100% work as a data analyst. But if you're a data analyst, you can't work as a data scientist. I hope that answers your question. Now, going on, financial analysts and HR analysts. So these are also like data analysts that have specialized in their own particular domain. A financial analyst have learned problem solving, Excel, Power BI, SQL, and they are now specializing to financial aspects of data. All right, starting with accounting fundamentals, understanding your three stages of financial model, your income statement, your balance sheet, and of course, your cash flow. Yeah, your income statement, balance sheet, and of course, your cash flow. So you need to understand your accounting fundamentals and then move to how do you analyze financial statements, which is your financial analysis proper. How do you now build financial model to be able to say, okay, this happened last year. If we continue on this pathway, this is what's going to happen next year. How can you also be able to perform valuations for company? And then sensitivity and scenario analysis. If we decide to tweak our price from 1 naira to 2 naira, how is it going to affect our revenue by the end of the year? So clearly, they are now specialized on financial aspects of data. And believe you me, these guys are very much needed because every single company wants to be able to make sense of their financials. So they are always constantly needed every single now and then. The next one is the HR analyst. So like I also mentioned, these are data analysts that have decided to specialize in people's data. So first in the land, they're all data analysts, problem solving, Excel, Power BI, SQL, and then they are moving to pure people's data, understanding the performance evaluation aspects. How do you carry out your appraisal system by the end of the quarter, by the end of the month, by the end of the year? How do you appraise your staff? How do you build the different tools that you're going to be using? Okay, moving on to your HR metrics and life cycle. How do you know when to perform stay interview rather, instead of exit interview? You've noticed that, Chukwemeka resigned when he was about to clock 30. Elijah resigned when he was about to clock 30. Lola resigned when she was about to clock 30. It's going to give you a cue. If someone is 29 years old, I need to start having conversations with them. So these are things that HRs mostly lack these days because they don't understand the data that they are always presented with. So when you're able to equip yourself with understanding the people's data, you can now know how to better manage them. So instead of constantly doing exit interviews when people are already leaving, you can now be performing stay interviews at the point where you know they're about to get to that point of leaving. Also understand how to build your HR analysis and also collaborate with different departments and also automate your report. So as a HR person, constantly you are building your case and creating action for the management. So you're going to be learning all these things for you to be able to land and help the people that exist in your company. Now, the last one, like I said, is cybersecurity. Okay, I hope we are still following me. Please, if you are still following me to this very moment, just drop any comment in the chat box so that I'll be sure that you guys are still here with me because I've been speaking, and I don't know if you guys are actually taking notes of every single thing that I've been saying. Okay, fantastic. All right, I can see Gizmo, yes, Sheun, yes, Damilola. Okay, fantastic. We still have people here. All right, if you are just joining us, please do not fear. But what you need to do is just simply fill the attendance form, right? So they can have access to this slide and also have access to the recorded version of this conversation. So on your own, you can easily go through it and be able to understand every single thing that we missed out. Trust me, if you have any question, I've already answered it. If you have any question, I've already answered it. Okay, so just fill the attendance form. By the end, we're going to share the slide with you and also the recorded version of this discussion. So for the cybersecurity guys, these people their duty is simple. All right, the same way we have security guards that secure our physical assets, someone needs to be able to protect our digital assets from external influence. And that's where the cyber guys come in. All right, and the approach that we take here at Analytics is simple because we understand cybersecurity has different domains. So you need to be able to know whether you want to be in the red team or whether you want to be in the blue team. Red team is attack-minded. Blue team is defense-minded. Of course, we have the purple team, the guys that understand both. So first thing that you're going to be learning here Our own approach to cybersecurity is what I love to call the medical degree approach. All right, you're going to, if you want to be a medical doctor as of today, you're going to pass through general medicine, and then you can now decide to specialize. So that's the same way you're going to pass through this cybersecurity general aspects, and then you can now specialize. So first thing you're understanding is the overview, the rules and technology that actually powers this exact space. So once you understand it, you now move to your principles and also risk management. For instance, under here, you're learning the CIA triad. That's the foundation of cybersecurity: confidentiality, integrity, and also availability of data. So every single thing that you are going to be learning is hinged on the CIA triad: confidentiality, availability, and understanding of data. So, and of course, your risk management. This prepares you to work as a risk guy. And then you're also going to learn your network security and threat vulnerabilities. So, for instance, every single learning point here, you are learning a tool they're going to be utilizing for it. For your network security, you're learning how do you utilize Wireshark and also Cisco Packet Tracer for you to be able to analyze your network. For threat and vulnerabilities, you're learning how to utilize Nmap to analyze your threats. So this prepares you to actually also be able to work as a network engineer. All right, and then from here downwards, from SOC roles and responsibilities, incident response, and threat detection, you're now learning how do you function as a SOC analyst. All right, you're learning your log analysis, you're learning your NTM, which is your network traffic monitoring, and also your threat detection and incident response and threat intelligence lifecycle. For you to function as a SOC analyst, you need to understand how to utilize Splunk to analyze all these threats. So this is where you clearly start learning these aspects. Now, all these guys here are all within the defense team. They're all within the defense team. Now, from this point downwards, you're now learning open source intelligence, your OSINT gathering, learning about your malware analysis and also your threat actor profiling, and then also your OSWAPs and P-tests. So all this now prepares you for you to function as a pen tester. So this prepares you to function as a pen tester, and this is your attack-minded aspect. Then lastly, you have your GRC. So you have your GRC, learning your governance and compliance frameworks, your ISO 27001, which is your information security standard, your NIST, your NDPR, your GDPR, depending on where you are because of those country differences. And then also then you have to carry out compliance audits and also be able to develop policies. And then finally, your security awareness training and exploitation. Okay, so clearly you're going to be learning all these things. But remember, for cybersecurity, after you've learned all this, within your 6 months training phase, during your 2 months internship, you can now decide where you want to specialize in. And then your internship is going to be fully under your specialization. So within that 6 months, you are learning all these key learning points: risk, network, SOC analysis, pen testing, GRC, threat intelligence officer, and so on and so forth. Then afterwards, your 2 months internship, you're now specializing on a particular career path and building your own career from there. So the reason for this is because we don't want you to say, oh, because you just learned GRC, you can't be this, you can't be that. No. So we are going to expose you to every single one of them so that when you are applying to job, you can now easily be able to apply to every single one of those jobs that you can see out there. Now, our learning time is just on Saturdays alone. For all our programs, it is the same timeline. The class holds on Saturdays alone. So we have the morning class and we have the evening class. The morning class is by 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. West African time. The evening class is by 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. So the reason why we are doing West African time is for all of us to do our own conversion and know where it is possible for us to be in. But easily, if you're in Europe, UK, Africa, the morning class is suitable for you. That's 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. If you're in Canada, US, people within the North American region, the evening class will be suitable for you, and that's the 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. You cannot be in the two classes. You can only be in one. It's either the morning class or the evening class that you are going to be in. But we are also flexible to find the one that fits you. Okay, so the morning class is 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then the evening class is by 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. West African time. If you're in Canada, it should be around 10 a.m. Mountain time, as the case may be. Then, remember I said it's only on Saturdays, but it is not every Saturday, right? At least in a month, you're going to have live classes at least twice, which means you're having a live class today, and then tomorrow you might be having a drop-in session. Next one, you're having maybe a capstone project presentation, and then you're having another live class again. So you have a live class, have a drop-in session, and then have a capstone presentation and also a live class as well. Okay, at least in a month, you should be touching base physically to have live interactive class at least two Saturdays in a month. Then the other Saturdays, you're having drop-in sessions. And not just that Saturday. During the week on Wednesday, we have also a drop-in session where, okay, you learn something over the weekend, but you're still finding it challenging. All right, we were having challenges with what you've learned. You can come into that drop-in session and also ask your questions. Someone will also be there to answer the questions that you have. So the reason why it's just a weekend program is because we understand that almost 90% of our people are always working. We are all working because, of course, we need to make the money first. So that is why the program is just on Saturdays alone. Even if you are going to work on Saturdays, if you are working in the morning, at least join the evening class. If you are working in the evening, at least join the morning class. So there is always a way for you to be able to make this happen. Remember, the learning timeline is for 8 months. You're going to learn 6 months in the classroom and then 2 months internship experience where you're going to now be interning with a different company called Amdari. So all this is to help you break into that exact career path that you need to be in. All right? I know I've explained all the career paths, but if after all my explanation, you're still finding it challenging to choose a career path, or you're just joining us, please make sure that you take the quiz that every other person have already taken. All right? Once you click on the quiz, you can get started, answer a couple of questions, and it's going to tell you, oh, this is where your pathway is leading to. Oh, because you're a numbers person, you love analytics, you are more suited to data analytics. Oh, because you don't want to do anything coding, you don't want to interact and do other things, you are suited to agile project management. Please make sure that you take that quiz because it's going to help you to also know the career path that you are going to be fully joining. Okay, so all this is to make sure that you select the one that tilts to your own direction. I hope that makes sense to every single person out there. And I've also been able to explain all the career paths. So right now, I don't know if we've all been able to select the career path that fully speaks to us. Have you all been able to select the career path that fully speaks to us? Can the internship work for people that are already employed or we don't have to leave their job? No, Kion. Internship experience, but then it is also curated to your own specialty to make it easier for you to navigate. I hope that answers your question clearly, Kion. Can see a couple of what if for any reason we miss class? Fantastic question, Walter. So all the classes are also recorded. All the classes are recorded. So if you miss any class, there is a recorded version of that class. So what we expect you to do is to watch the recorded version of that class and then be able to now ask, oh, Chukwemeka, I missed class, but I've been able to watch the recording. I didn't understand when you're trying to do this, do that, and so on and so forth. And someone is going to be able to also guide your hand. But there's need for you to at least make sure you watch the recorded version. Because the truth is that as adults, there are some times where you are going to have emergencies, you're going to miss classes. Sometimes it happens. But it's now your action after you miss that class that is going to now propel you to where you want to be. Okay? Watch the recorded version of the class, and then someone is now going to also answer any question that you have at any point that you want it. And Titi is also asking, oh, I'm in the UK, but evening is best for me. Fantastic. Even if you're in UK and the evening is the best for you, you can be in the evening class. Even if you're in Canada and the morning class is best for you because maybe you like to wake up maybe around 4 a.m. or thereabouts, then you can also join the morning class, all right? It doesn't limit you, okay? You can join the one that suits your own personality and how you also want to be able to learn. So all these things I've said, how exactly can you get started today? How can you get started today? So the beautiful thing is that our next cohort is starting next week, Saturday. All right. So every first Saturday of the July 5th, which is next week, Saturday. And all you have to do is to secure your spot and break into this program. So all our programs goes for $900, but currently it is discounted to $750. And you have the option to pay instrumentally, which means $150 every month. All right, you can pay $150 every month for 5 months. You don't have to pay it off once. So $150 this month, $150 next month, $150 per month, for you to easily be able to get what you are looking for. So all you have to do is to click on the link that my colleagues are dropping. Okay, once you click on the links that my colleagues are dropping, oh, Johnson, I'll get back to you. I didn't see your question. That's definitely why I didn't answer it. I'll look for it and then answer it, okay? So once you click on that link, it's going to bring you to the enrollment center. Okay, right here you can see, oh, these are all the courses that we are offering. We have a 20% discount currently existing. These are our training calendar. Next one is by July 5th, next one by August 8th. Can I scroll down and see all those career paths? All you have to do is simply click on the one that you want to go for. Let's assume I want to go for cyber security. All I have to do is simply click on register for CS. Once I click on this, it's going to bring me to this exact spot. And what I can now do is I can now decide how I want to pay for it. Okay, so easily you can see that you can pay one off, you can pay in 2 installments, you can pay in 3 installments, 4 or 5 installments, anyone that works for you. Okay, if you want to pay one, amazing. If you want to pay twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, amazing. So what has to do is just select the one due today. Next one is due by July 28th. Next one by August 28th. Upper one by September 28th. And then last one by October 28th. Once I click on proceed, the only thing I have to do now is to put in my name, my email address, phone number, and simply proceed to pay for the product. As simple as that. Now, the beautiful thing is that no matter where you are joining from, you are going to see the currency from your own location. So if you are joining from UK, you're going to see the price in pounds. If you are joining from US, you're going to see the price in USD. If you are joining from Canada, you're going to see the price in CAD. If you're joining from Germany, you're going to see the price from euros. If you're joining from Nigeria, you're going to see it from NGN. If you're joining from Ghana, you see it in cedis. So no matter the location that you are joining from, you're going to see the price equivalent of your own local currency. So this is the easiest way for you to actually be able to secure your spot. So if you looked closely when I was trying to explain, this discount is not actually for everyone. It's just for the first 20 people to secure their spot. And if you click on any of those programs, you can see the number that is remaining. For instance, I've clicked on cybersecurity again, and it's showing me that 6 seats, that's what's available. And once that 6 seats are taken, the price will revert back to the full amount, which is $900. So it is clearly hard-coded to the website. Once the 6 seats are taken, the price reverts back to $900. So I always advise people to try and secure their spot as fast as possible before you hear that it's all fully booked out. And if you decide to pay one off or in 2 installments, there's also an extra knockoff for you. All right, so you can see that it is $750 full, but if you're paying one off or in 2 installments, we're also going to knock off extra $50 for you. So this is just an incentive for people that decide to make one off or that decide to pay in 2 installments. But one thing is clear, the seats are always fast selling out. So always make sure you secure your spot immediately after this session so that you can also be able to start by next week. And even if you do not want to start by next week, which is July 5, you can decide that you want to defer by a month. Okay, so then instead of starting by July 5th, you can now start by July 8th. So you have a possibility to defer by 1 month, which means you can easily be able to secure your spot now, but defer to start next 2 months. So the advantage of it is this. If you trade derivative or futures or options, you know what we call futures trading. You are buying a future product at today's price. So even if price changes tomorrow, you bought it today. All right. So even if by next month the cost of our programs change or a discount is over, you've already secured your spot. You've secured your spot, and that's the price that you are going to definitely be able to pay continuously throughout your own learning experience. I hope I've been able to clearly explain how you can also be able to secure a spot and break into these career paths that you desire. And for people that decide to secure their option in the next 24 hours, we also have an extra bonus for you for that reason. Okay. So I don't know if at this point there are any question from anyone before we start rounding up for today. Do I have any question? Okay, let me start from down and start going up. James, do you do FP&A on your financial analytics program? Fantastic question, James. Now, clearly, James, if you go through our financial curriculum, you can easily also be able to see every single aspect of what we offer. All right. So FP&A is also part of what you are going to be learning. All right. It's also part of what you are going to be learning. So when you click on that main stack link, when you get to this main stack link, all right, when you're right, say just scroll down. You see the option for you to see the curriculum for all those courses. I hope you are listening to me, James. When you scroll down, you see get access to all program brochures. So once you click on it, you can now be able to view all the curriculums that exist, every single activity that you're going to be having within your own learning journey. Okay, you're going to be able to get it. Once you click on it, scroll down, and you can also be able to see all the curriculum. Click on financial analytics. Okay, this is the financial analytics. And you're going to see every single thing that you're going to be doing. Week 1, you're going to do this. Week 2, you're going to do this. Week 3, so on and so forth. And you're going to be able to understand every single thing that you need. I hope that answers your question, James. Okay, MEK is asking, is data analysis a start if I want to get into database administrator, or is that a different field? Fantastic question, MEK. Now, for DB administrators, clearly, if you have data analysis skill, if you have SQL understanding, you can actually decide to break into database administration, right? It's simply how do you manage your database. And SQL will present you that opportunity of learning it, which means data analytics, data science, data engineering, they all learn SQL. And that's going to also prepare you to come into database administration. So MEK, if you're looking to be a DB administrator, I would advise you to look towards these 3 career paths. Now, it now depends on the level of affinity you have towards coding. If you are running from coding entirely, then you should approach it from data analytics pathway. If you have little curiosity about coding, then you should look at it from data science. If you want to embrace coding fully, then you should jump into data engineering. So all 3 of them can lead you towards you getting into DB administration. Johnson is asking, interested in cybersecurity, any professional certification in the training? Fantastic question, Johnson. Fantastic question. Now, clearly, every single thing we are going to provide you with is purely for you to have experience that you're looking for. Now, remember when you're applying to jobs, what recruiters are asking you is, what experience do you have? Can you do this? Can you do that? Nobody's actually asking you, which certification are you coming with? All right? Nobody's asking you, what certification are you coming with? In fact, as of January, the richest man, that's Elon Musk, posted that they are trying to build something that if they don't care about the school you went, we don't care about the certificates that you have, all you have to do is show us your coding. And that is where the tech industry has tilted towards. Nobody cares about the school you attended. Nobody cares about the certification you are coming with. All you have to do is show your skill. So by the time you are done training with us, we're also going to present you with our own certificate, which is accredited by the ACTD. That's the American Council of Training and Development. All right, you are going to get that, and it's also acceptable. Now, if you are looking to now get other certification, it is now you that is going to now pursue those external certification. But what we are also going to guarantee you is you are going to get the technical skill that you need. We have some people that they have CompTIA++, they have CISA, they have CISM, and they are in our program learning cybersecurity. The reason is that all those certification courses is not going to teach you how you're going to use Nmap, how you're going to use Splunk, how you're going to use this, how you're going to do that. No, it's all purely theoretical from the aspect of cybersecurity. But if you need that technical skill, that is fully where we play from. We are fully technically equipped and we are fully fortified to help you get the skills that you need for cybersecurity. I hope that answers your question to the person, and that should be Johnson. I hope that answers your question. Any training and just for software testing? No, we are not offering software testing. Okay, so what I advise you to do always to fill the attendance form, go through the recorded version and see the reason why we are not offering software testing. It's simple. We don't want people to get into a career path where next year, next 2 years, next 3 years, they're going to hear that their jobs have evolved, right? So there are specific careers that we offer and there are ones that we do not offer. I hope that answers your question, Olu. I'm a project manager transferring to product management. What's my faith? Gospel, this is not sufficient for me to be able to tell you your faith, but by just superficially looking at it, you are easily tilted towards agile project management. But what you also have to do is, once you've taken that quiz and you're still not sure of where you want to be, please book for you to have a one-on-one session. So you're allowed to block our calendars and going to be speaking to our professionals. They're going to look at your background, look at things that you've done before, look at your first degree, and they are going to be able to profile solution to you and say, okay, gospel, because you are introverted, because you don't like speaking to people, because you're running from this, you're running from that, we think this one will be more aligned to you. So let's all take the quiz and then book that session if you are still confused about the exact career path that you want to be in. Gospel. Okay, Rabia is asking, I'm on sponsorship as a nurse and I desperately need to get a visa sponsored job as early as possible. I've chosen cybersecurity because I would love to, but what do you advise? I don't like coding, so I have cybersecurity, it's okay. I have paid for it already. Oh, fantastic, Rabia. Now, clearly, the truth is that cybersecurity is one of the fastest in demand career paths. All right, but Rabia, we want to speak for us to also understand your transferable skills. All right, also understand how technically inclined, because some people will love cybersecurity because, oh, it's in demand, it's always available, but are you technically inclined? So these are things that we have to look at to be able to determine the one that is meant for you. All right, so what our advice is for you to also book that clarity, because it's one-on-one, right? Sometimes it's grouped. We're going to look at you ideally, answer your question, and then find a career path for you. And even if you've already secured a career path, you've already registered, right, like you, we are going to make the change behind the scene from our own side and put you in the one that we're going to agree in the end. I hope that is okay for you, Rabia, but it might be, hard for you and I to have this discussion right now. Okay, so if you also want to speak to me, so please feel free to use the raise hand icon. I'm going to just choose one person to unmute and speak. The first person to raise their hand, I'm going to unmute the person and the person is going to ask their own question because we are already 2 hours into this session. Okay, Ihoma is asking, can I register and transfer it to a friend or family member if I realize I cannot cope? For example, if I register and find out that I cannot cope because of my other engagements, can my friend or child or another person exchange that opportunity with me so that I apply again when I'm ready? Fantastic question, Ihoma. Now, what you do with your details is entirely up to you. All right, it's entirely up to you. And the reason why we say this is because we've had instances before now where someone registered and after a month, person is not saying, oh, I don't want to do it again, I want to move to another program. So we realize that when people get what they're looking for, they want to switch to another one. All right, so what we always advise you is this: if you get a registration, it is up to you to decide, oh, I'm done, I'm not coping, I want to pass it to my husband. Your husband can start using your own details to continue your own learning journey. But it is ideal to you. It's just like you saying, can you transfer your account to another person? I mean, your account is your account, your bank account is your bank account. The only thing you can do is to provide your details to another party to be able to operate it for you. So that's how it also can work. You have an account, you have on the profile, and if you figure that it's something that you cannot do, you can decide to pass your profile to your next of kin or another person. Okay, but it is fully for you. I hope that answers your question, Ihoma. Okay, there are a lot of questions here. James is asking, would you be able to get a job with a technical skill without the certification? Does employers value skills more than the certification? James, I've already answered this question. It is simple. If you are applying to a job as a data analyst, nobody's asking you what certificate do you have. Data science, what certificate do you have? No. Data engineering, what certificate? No. The only career path that you even get some element of, oh, what certificate do you have, is when I start looking towards cyber security and maybe towards agile project management and business analysis. That is where people are going to be asking you, oh, what certificate do you have? For me, I fully play in the tech industry. All right. I already have a BSc and an MBA, and that's simply it. Everything is now an acquired skill. Now, does it mean certification is not good? No. Certification is very, very okay. But competence is always over certification. Competence over certificate. If you come with a certificate and say, oh, I have masters from University of Hull, I have certificates from IBM, I have certificates from Google, nobody cares. If I come and say, oh, I'm just a first degree holder, this is project I've worked on, I've analyzed a couple of data sets that did this, did that, I've worked with this tool that made this, made that, your certificate is not going to knock me off, because what employers are looking for is people that can do that exact job. Right? I used to work as a data analyst somewhere, and my CTO as at then, this guy didn't even have a first degree. He didn't have any university degree, and he was our chief technology officer. So the tech industry is not in any way aligned towards certification. This is fully a skill and competence-based environment. And once you can prove that you have those skill and competence, the sky is even your starting point. I hope that answers your question, James. Okay, let me keep scrolling. I'm zero with Tech Rabbi, same as me. Okay, there are a couple of paid already but confused. It's fantastic. Now, if you are still confused, please, my colleague just dropped the link for you to also be able to book a one-on-one conversation. Also, it will be hard for me to be able to have one-on-one with 100 people. So when you book, you're going to have access to our Calendly link, secure a spot, and then when the time comes, someone from our team is going to be right there to have conversations with you. Okay, I hope I've been able to answer everyone's question. No, I'm in the UK and want to start now. We'll be in UK by September, so I want to start in July. Okay, Kelvin, that's not sufficient. I really don't understand the trail of thoughts where it's starting from. Okay, but please, after this, if you still have questions, all right, if you still have questions, please feel free to message us. Okay, we have our telephone lines there, the Canadian line, the Nigerian line, our WhatsApp line. Please feel free to message us. Also send us an email at enquiries@tenanalytics.io, and someone is going to answer you. Or also go to our website and click on the help button, and someone will be right there to answer every single question that you have. My colleagues are already signaling me that we are beyond our time, so please make sure you fill the attendance form so that we are going to send this slide to you and also send the recorded version of this discussion to you. Also, make sure that you secure your spot, because the spots are always easily filled out. If after you secure your spot, we discover, oh, the one you secured for is not meant for you, or maybe you are not going to be able to cope with cybersecurity, you should be more going towards business analysis, we are also going to help you make those changes from the back end, okay? But first thing first, remember to secure your spot. Last year, we got into the Alberta Catalyzer program, and the aim was simple. How do we help more people to break into the tech ecosystem? We helped 357 people last year to land jobs, and this year we want to double that number. And that's simply the reason why we got our hands to also be able to train ourselves and be able to progress from our own results from last year. Everything on my slide are all success stories. Please make sure to go through them to also see and hear from other people's mouths. Abigail used to be a care worker in Canada, but right now she's working as a business analyst with the government of Alberta. That can also be your own story. But first, you have to learn, you have to package yourself, and then you have to apply for the jobs. Thank you so much for listening to me for the past 2 hours, 10 minutes. This is really not an easy thing for you to be right here with me till this end. All right, so thank you so much, everyone. And thank you to my colleagues that also assisted, Dorcas, Elijah, Lydia, Lola. Fantastic. And for every other person, if you have questions, please make sure to fill the attendance form, and also make sure to use any of our lines to reach out to us. I always tell people the best time to get into the tech industry is yesterday. The next best time is today, because trust me, tomorrow it may actually be too late for you to get into it. I always tell people that tech is just like crypto, like you are trading derivative and all those things. You need to hit it when it is necessary, so they are not going to be joining a career path that's already stale at the point that you want to get into that exact sector. So I can't wait to see each and every one of you come July or August, depending on when you want to start your own program. Remember, you can secure your spot right now and decide to defer by 1 month. Thank you so much once more to each and every one of you. I really appreciate you once more. And cheers from here and bye for now. Have a wonderful day, have a wonderful night, have a wonderful afternoon, depending on where you are joining us from. Cheers, guys, and bye for now.